Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NEFLD, has emerged as one of the most pressing global health concerns of the 21st century, reflecting a profound shift in dietary patterns and lifestyle habits worldwide. Once thought to be a condition primarily affecting adults in Western countries, NEFLD now spans continents, affecting populations from the United States and Europe to Asia, the Middle East, and increasingly low and middle-income nations. This global rise is closely linked not to alcohol consumption but to modern diet composition. The widespread adoption of soft drinks, sugary snacks, ultra-processed foods, and refined carbohydrates has created a perfect storm for metabolic liver dysfunction. NAFLD is no longer a localized or incidental disease. It is a direct consequence of dietary excess and poor food quality, silently escalating toward more serious liver conditions such as non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, NASH, fibrosis, and cirrhosis. The metabolic burden of modern diets lies in the combination of sugar, refined starches, and unhealthy fats, which overwhelm hepatic metabolism. Soft drinks and sugar-laden beverages deliver concentrated doses of fructose and glucose that are rapidly absorbed and directed almost entirely to the liver. Excessive fructose drives de novo lipogenesis, causing triglyceride accumulation within hepatocytes, while repeated insulin surges from glucose overload impair lipid clearance and promote fat storage. Simultaneously, ultra-processed foods rich in trans fats, emulsifiers, and artificial additives exacerbate oxidative stress and low-grade inflammation, further straining the liver's capacity to maintain metabolic balance. The result is a global environment in which even individuals without traditional risk factors, such as obesity or alcohol consumption, are increasingly susceptible to NEFLD simply due to diet composition. Epidemiological data underscore the severity of this trend. In the United States, NEFLD prevalence has escalated to affect nearly one-third of adults, paralleling rising consumption of sugary drinks, fast foods, and processed snacks. In Asia, rapid urbanization and adoption of Western-style diets have led to a dramatic increase in liver fat accumulation, even among populations with traditionally lean body types. Countries such as China, India, and Japan are now reporting NEFLD prevalence rates approaching those in Western nations, illustrating that the disease is less about genetics or alcohol and more about exposure to modern dietary patterns rich in refined sugars and industrially processed foods. Studies show that children and adolescents are particularly vulnerable as early life exposure to high-sugar and ultra-processed diets programs the liver for long-term fat accumulation, insulin resistance, and systemic metabolic dysfunction. The health consequences extend beyond the liver itself. NAFLD is closely intertwined with metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and obesity, creating a cascade of interrelated conditions driven primarily by diet. Repeated consumption of soft drinks and processed foods not only deposits fat in the liver but also elevates triglycerides in the bloodstream, increases systemic inflammation, and promotes insulin resistance. Over time, these effects amplify cardiovascular risk, reduce metabolic resilience, and exacerbate inflammatory signaling, demonstrating that NEFLD is both a consequence and a driver of global metabolic disease. Alarmingly, the silent nature of early NEFLD contributes to its global proliferation. Many individuals with hepatic fat accumulation remain asymptomatic for years, often unaware of the ongoing liver stress caused by their dietary habits. By the time elevated liver enzymes, fibrosis, or more severe complications emerge, the liver may already be irreversibly damaged. The ubiquity of sugary beverages, fast foods, and processed snacks creates a continuous metabolic assault, ensuring that large segments of the global population are chronically exposed to factors that drive NEFLD progression. Yet, this global epidemic also highlights the power of dietary intervention. Reducing consumption of soft drinks, limiting processed foods, and prioritizing whole, fiber-rich foods, healthy fats, and minimally processed proteins can markedly lower liver fat accumulation and improve insulin sensitivity. Patterns such as the Mediterranean diet, plant-forward diets, and traditional diets emphasizing vegetables, legumes, whole grains, and fish have demonstrated measurable reductions in NEFLD prevalence and progression. Public health initiatives that address dietary quality, sugar intake, and ultra-processed food consumption are therefore critical not only for liver health, but for preventing a cascade of chronic metabolic diseases that accompany modern dietary patterns. In conclusion, The global rise of NAFLD is a direct consequence of modern diet composition, illustrating that metabolic liver disease is not simply a matter of alcohol consumption but of sustained exposure to sugars, refined carbohydrates, and ultra-processed foods. From North America to Asia, the epidemic demonstrates the universal vulnerability of the liver to dietary stressors and underscores the urgent need for global awareness, dietary education, and preventive strategies. By recognizing the central role of diet in liver health and implementing targeted nutritional interventions, populations can reverse or mitigate the trajectory of NAFLD, reducing the burden of liver disease and related metabolic disorders worldwide.